I always like to start with the basics when I'm working with a client because you would be truly amazed how often people overlook them, not realizing what a massive impact they have on your experience of life. The basics, which are actually essential to living as a human, are food, water, sleep, movement. These are non-negotiable. And if you're off track with any of them, you'll feel it. And you'll want to start here working on this section before doing anything else. Because if you're not doing these things, you could do all the other things and they would not matter because you're just depleted right out of the gate. I won't spend a lot of time on the details, as you can find a lot of this more in depth online, and you probably know a lot of it already, but I'm saying it because, again, it shows up all the time and it can make such a big difference in such a short amount of time. So first, consider eating an array of broadly colorful foods that grew in dirt versus things that come in bags or boxes or were highly processed. Anytime possible, go for the brightly broad array of foods and get plenty of protein. You know, I never really thought of protein growing up. If you're an athlete, you probably know about it already. And depending on what your demand is, what you're doing in a day, what your weight is and your build, it's anywhere between 50 and 175 grams a day-ish. So you kind of have to get to know that for yourself. Give yourself a variety of flavors to satiate your palate so that you are heading off any potential unsupportive cravings that won't really serve the outcomes that you want. And sleep is so huge. You want to get 7 to 9 hours, and this is deeply researched. Research shows that anything less than 7 hours, and you're more likely to have health issues. Can you get by on 6 hours for a short period of time? Sure, but emphatically, it is not enough consistently. Water. We know this, right? We know that we need water, and we forget. And we also know that coffee is not water. When we get dehydrated, it impacts our brain, it impacts our bodies, and they don't work well. I'll keep it at that. There's so many complex things that happen that can simply be remedied with drinking enough water. And there's lots of ideas around this and lots of different methods, but a simple formula I came across at one point was to take your body weight in pounds, divide it in half, and that amount in number of ounces is how much you want to shoot for each day. So if you are 150 pounds, you would want to divide it in half and have about 75 ounces of water every day. These are the basics. I know, but I swear it is almost always the starting point or recurring points with my leadership clients, especially in times when they're experiencing high demand. And I don't want to leave out movement. It could be anything from going for walks to going to the gym to playing pickleball to yoga to Tai Chi. There's lots of different ways you can get movement in, and it doesn't have to be formal. You could dance, have a dance party in your living room, but movement is really important too for many, many reasons. So those are some of the basics that you must have in your life to survive before you can even think about trying to thrive. Once you've got the basics handled, and I have to say a majority of the population doesn't during times of demand, then you can really see where you're at. So that's where you get a benchmark, is once you come back to this level place of having your basics managed, then you can say, okay, where am I? And it's a clear starting point where you can build from there. So explore what your opportunities are in these areas and see where you might benefit from a tune-up, come up with a few action items, and go from there.